Good morning, Ruskin enjoyers. So, this roster rotated about 15 hours ago. We've got some pretty interesting progress to take a look at. But of course, we're here for the predictions video. Halloween Week 2, October 30, 2025. 17 Halloween skins have been accepted. But out of all of these, we're going to go ahead and try and figure out which of them potentially is the best investment for this week, which of these skins might help us walk away with some sweet, delicious looking profit. So, sit back, relax. Let's get yapping. I've only had a few hours sleep, but I can still figure all this out. Now, if you get a quick look at all the skins, well, quick, bit debatable. 17 skins in total led to an hour and 30 minutes almost. But everything is chaptered, do not forget, so you can always skip ahead. There's some very interesting notable skins that I want to talk about, but of course all of them are very nice, consider giving them all a lovely look. But yes, as I said, 15 hours in, and it genuinely looks like we're not going to be like anywhere close to some of the top selling skins from the previous week. At the moment, it could still change. So, funnily enough, like, there were some buyouts for both of these skins here. This randomly went all the way up to about $10 last night, but, you know, it's starting to cool off. And, yeah, someone bought 150 of these from the Steam market yesterday. Weird, isn't it? 73,000 subscribers. What? That's one of the highest ever selling skins in Rust in total. It's ridiculous. But anyway, as I said, we don't really expect, like, ridiculous sales here, which is fine. But there are still concerns in regards to, well, you know, they're going to be out of season eventually. Well, quite literally, tomorrow. It's October 31st right now. Tomorrow is November. And immediately, they are out of, like, you know, they're out of season, they're out of theme, and yeah, people probably won't care as much. Literally, the very next day, November 1st, most people are going to start caring about Christmas. Or rather, preparing, anticipating. It's gotten ridiculous recently. People start celebrating too early. Anyway, so, unfortunately, do not be surprised if all of these do drop off. However, we are prepared for this. We fully well knew that, yeah, this is going to be a problem. When we see the Christmas skins, the exact same problem is going to happen as well. But in anticipation to next year, with the idea of potential collection continuations, alright, might not be so bad. Like, if you could quickly hop over to here, I literally made a video discussing this. Mostly in regards to clothing and armor skins, and oh look, I told you, we're anticipating a collection continuation for pumpkin armor, ooh. But yeah, we've learned from this in the past. We know how to approach it. I'll teach you if you're new to it, okay? So, all good. Cool. So, hopping back over to here. With all these skins, we are fully well aware that there's a very good chance they're all going to go down in price. But which of these skins still looking to be pretty interesting? By default, I think I have to talk about the Hammer from Hell. So, the From Hell collection, one of the largest in all of Rust. Plenty of skins. Not all of them in the positive, but in regards to Hammer skins in general, I mean, just take a look at all the skins we've had, like, over the past several years. How many of them are currently in the negative? Because right now, October time, most skins should be down real bad, especially around Halloween time. Scroll, scroll, scroll. I don't see any of them in the negative. Now, it's a bit weird how something you're always using, yeah, just doesn't really get that many skins. Like, scrolling up, we've only had 4 so far this year. Last year, we had a lot of Twitch drops, only 2 marketable ones. The year before that, only 1. It's a bit odd. Now, some people have mentioned, but Hedge, not everybody is the builder. At some point, you're going to be building, right? You're always going to need a hammer. So the question is now, are you going to need a glow-in-the-dark hammer? Again, consider watching my Rust rotation video to get a good look at this. It stands out very brightly, very nicely. One of the largest collections in all of Rust. Is it going to hold up nicely? Well, I mean, I'm thinking, yeah. How much is it going to sell, though? At the current rate of sales, I reckon it's going to probably be just short of 20,000 subscribers, but it wouldn't surprise me, and me included. A lot of people are probably going to wait till the last day and then probably jump in and buy them out like, by tons. Honestly, that is looking to be the most reliable thing to chase after this week. So, if you're considering it, I hope that, you know, motivated you to consider it, okay? So, we're still like several hours until 24 hours of sales, but that doesn't look like it's going to reach 10,000 subscribers. Maybe I'll be wrong. We'll wait and see. But, yeah, if we do reach around that amount, it very likely will be reaching 20,000 subscribers. But I still think out of all of these skins, that one is probably the most reliable option. So we'll see how that turns out. Again, consider watching my Rust rotation video to get a good look at it. But in terms of like current progress with sales, so hopping back over to here we are. This was the first 24 hours of sales with last week's skins, okay? Now, as I said, maybe it might reach up to 10,000 subscribers after the next like several hours or so. We'll see how it progresses. But these did reach around 23,000 subscribers, the burlap stuff here. Whereas this right here, that only just about reached 24,000 subscribers. So there can be quite a bit of a difference initially, but yeah, in the end, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, does it? So, okay, cool. And as I said, consider giving all of the skins a lovely good look. But hopping back over to here, if the hammer's looking pretty sweet, what's also looking pretty sweet? A lot of people happen to like anime Gale doors. What? Really? Yeah, okay. So, if I could just quickly navigate to the past, you may recall, so, about 2 years ago, for Halloween week 2, here we are, we had the Spell Garage door. And for a very long time, that actually it was doing very well for itself. Sold for $4, retained its price. But as time has gone on, other options have appeared, and there's tons more garage doors. But it's still doing a very good job maintaining most of its price. Only 38 listings. I mean, that could easily rise back up in price again. But if I could just show you its sales history, as you'll see, it hasn't been terrible. It went up before, went down, went up, kind of, got lots of competition, stagnating a bit. Looks like it's actually starting to trend back upwards again, and went back down. But anyway, give this another look around January time, January 2026. I won't be surprised if it bounces back up. Rust players happen to appreciate a lovely looking lady on their garage doors. Let's look at last year's skin. So speaking of Anime Gale garage doors, I almost went to Christmas, whoops. And there we go, yep. Which garage door? 43,000 subscribers at this current point in time. As I said, should be the worst time for most skins in general. Prices should be down, almost double in price. It seems Rust players do appreciate a good Anime Gale garage door. So I think I've got the point across by now. Hopping back over to here. Yeah, go Rust door, please. Yeah, that is the top selling skin. With what we just looked at a minute ago, with the progress from last week's skins and whatnot, I wouldn't be surprised this probably ends up at around 25,000 subscribers. Very rough estimate, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's going to be the case. Now, I did see a lot of people complaining about all the Halloween garage doors and sheep doors that are submitted this year with anime designs. This was the only one that was actually like referencing Rust. The girl wearing the bow and armor, the deer skull mask. Makes sense to a point. Some of you might sit there and say, but isn't this very gimmicky towards Halloween? Like, as you just said, once it's out of season. To be honest with you, it probably wouldn't matter. I mean, cute girl. I know, sounds silly, but out of all the garage doors we've seen so far this year, only a couple of them are currently in the positive. So scroll. There you go. We have the Mystic Tree garage door and the Neon Lunar Serpent garage door. However, whilst many of these are down real bad, because we've had far too many garage doors being accepted over the course of this year, one of them isn't too bad. Popstar garage door. Oh look, another Anime Girl garage door. Oh look, it's only slightly down in price. I'm telling you, it honestly looks like this lovely looking design, Moonlight Raider garage door, honestly will probably do quite alright. I'm not joking. Again, Halloween theme, true, but still people will still use it. Is it still likely going to go below its Rust door price? Wouldn't surprise me. The smart barter definitely will work out quite nicely. Now, we'll question, are we going to want to consider doing like a $1.50 barter or a $2 barter? We've got to wait and see what the sales look like. As I mentioned last year, with the strange witch anime design, the garage door, that did absurd sales and it still held up very nicely. What do you reckon about that? Feel free to offer your opinions, comment below. But yeah, that is looking interesting. I think that'll be one of the interesting skins that are likely going to retain their value. So, okay, cool. Now, looking at all the other skins, by default, I'm going to mention all the clothing and armor. They're all like equal. Now, in theory, you might sit here and say maybe Slime Monster and Pumpkin Jacket a little bit higher in terms of what's more likely to retain their value. So, in regards to Pumpkin armor, I quite literally expected that to get the actual collection continuation. Lo and behold, it happened. But what I'm going to say is, next year, we still anticipate perhaps Tier 3 armor, or maybe, considering tactical gloves are going to become skinnable in December, maybe next year, Robstar, the skin creator, he'll consider the boots again with some tactical gloves. We'll see. We don't have many orange sets, do we, in Rust, do we? So, yeah, but it's Pumpkin Hedge, true. Over the course of last year's Halloween, we saw Pumpkin hoodie and pants, didn't we? But they kind of acted a little bit funny over the course of the past year. And this is what I expect with the jacket. So as you can see right now, it's currently sitting here at just under $2. Not going to complain, that's totally fine. But as I, just scroll down over to here, look how it was initially. Oh, look, it's out of season. Went all the way down to about 50 cents. Immediately down to 50 cents. Ha, well, there you go. But yeah, as we started anticipating Halloween again, price started to rise up. We were anticipating a collection continuation. Lo and behold, we got the jacket, which still gave it a nice boost today, but we probably would have preferred the Tier 3. Now, next year, could it be Tier 3? Could it be, like, as I said, tactical gloves with some boots again? We'll see, okay? Regardless, it's been very successful over the past few years. So as you'll notice, as we just quickly hop back, this collection has been getting, like skins accepted over the past, 4 years? So Tier 2 came out, 2022? The Road Sun Gloves 2023, the Hoodie and Pants 2024, the Jacket 2025. Next year, oh, we'll wait and see. But you understand, it's been pretty consistent. And whilst the prices did drop off, smart Barda, yeah? So, whilst this is selling at $2, it's also not selling that much. It's one of the lowest selling skins this week. Smart Barda is the way to go. And with what we anticipate next year, it could rise up ever so nicely. It is going to be a low ball Barda, though. So, again, what will the final sales be by next week? We'll wait and see. But if this barely reaches 10,000 subscribers, that might be a little bit more interesting. And again, you also want to compare the total sales. This does look like it's going to match up about 10 to 12,000 subscribers. Honestly, it looks like it'll do less. This is going to match up perfectly with the whole armor set here. So, okay, cool. No complaints. Looking pretty sweet. Slime Monster hoodie and pants. So this might be a bit of a concern. I just mentioned here, well, that's matching up perfectly with the rest of the skins in its clothing armor set. The bits and pieces here, though. Last year we had Tier 2, didn't we? And as you'll notice, the Tier 2 only did about 8,000 subscribers. 8,000, just under 8,000, just over 8,000. So almost, 15, 16 hours in? The hoodie and pants have already done halfway the amount of what those did last year. So there's definitely going to be concerns. But next year, I do anticipate Tier 3, or boots and gloves. I do anticipate it. And with the success I've seen over the past few years, what with the SAR, the Thompson, the Tier 2, and then the hoodie and pants, I do expect it to be accepted. I can expect things. It's no guarantee, but I can expect things. It's nice. So, okay, cool, understood. Well then, what do you reckon? Well, I'll tell you this. I'm going to learn from the past. Because with the Tier 2 last year, whilst we just saw the pumpkin hoodie and pants, it went down real low. This didn't actually go down that low. Take, for example, the road sign kilt here. Let's click you. Let's go to the Steam Market. Let's scroll down. Over the course of the past 365 days, well, as you can see right now, $6.50. But Barda's going up to $3. But scroll. What do we see down over to here? Yeah, it did drop off. At its lowest, it went down to about 70, 80 cents. It did get pretty cheap, but then it started to rise and rise and rise and rise and rise. Now, some of you might sit here and say, but Hedge, it's green. It's not the right type of green. I know some of you might sit here and say green camouflage. Well, I actually tested that out. So go over to my rust rotation video, give it a good look, and you'll see that I've literally got a chapter right there, 42 minutes in. I test it out. It stands out too much. It's too bright. The purple parts as well, they kind of stick out and awkward. So it's not green camouflage, or rather, it's not good green camouflage. So I know it appears that this held its value quite nicely. It only went down to about 80 cents, and it kind of stayed above $1 for a very long time. Good for that, but if the hoodie and pants do sell a little bit too much in comparison to the Tier 2, wouldn't you be worried? Yeah. If anything, after looking at the pumpkin hoodie and pants from last year, I honestly think that the brand new Slime Monster hoodie and pants are going to behave the exact same way. So that would mean I only want to offer 30 cents to 50 cents and anticipate, hope, and expect to see Tier 3 or boots and gloves next year. And if it happens, I'm pretty sure that will be Spike and Mons, Spike and Price 7, and ever so nice. So, cool. So that's looking pretty interesting. Which Deer Skull Mask and Poncho, you're brand new, and I looked at it, looks pretty sweet, no complaints here. But what I expect now is a collection continuation next year. If we do see more primitive, all is good. But what will we see? What will we see? Not sure. Burlap would be fine. What about some hide boots? Some leather gloves? Get some really gangly, bony fingers and whatnot. That would be cool. So as long as we see a collection continuation next year, all is good. But this is the very beginning. That's all we have. Now, in terms of Deer Skull masks, we don't really have that many of them. And if it doesn't sell that much, okay, that might be pretty interesting. Hopping over to here, you can see this very, very easily. Whilst they're referred to as bone helmets as well. Just take a look at all of them. There's only 8 that exist. And due to a sheer lack of them, they tend to go up in price quite easily. However, earlier this year, the Easter Rooster mask, it hasn't really been doing very well so far, unfortunately. But then again, how will it look around post-Christmas? Could we potentially see a collection continuation next Easter? I mean, I'm anticipating it. I'm hoping for it. So, yeah, it's kind of like that. And that sold for $1.49. It lost a third of its price. This is currently selling for $1.49. That did 13,500 subscribers. This doesn't look like it's going to get close to 10,000 subscribers. So, okay, fair enough. It's the beginning of something, but we need to see more to call it something. Yeah, we'll go with that then. So, yeah, we've got to be a little bit patient, sorry to say. It's abnormal, so we can use that, time to our advantage. Abnormal Bardas, let's do them first next Wednesday, and yeah, you get the idea. So, okay, cool. And then over to here, the Tier 3 armor. So, again, the very beginning of something. That face mask, though, I mean, I've seen previous, green monster-themed Tier 3 pieces in the past. The face masks, look at the zombie face mask here. Some of you might sit there and say, oh, but the Dr. Brainus, the face mask is green. It's not the right type of green. And then the brain is all exposed, all bright and pink. Not looking good. So in the past, you can easily go back and see many different, like, scary looking green face masks that came out for Halloween. I'm not joking, there's tons of them. None of them really held their value. However, with this chest plate here, have you taken a good look at it? Have you noticed what this is? Hang on a minute, why is this so white? Oh, hang on a minute. Hold on a second. Is Hedge insinuating perhaps you might consider it to be a nice, very cheap alternative to a white-out chest plate? I tested it out. Again, please consider hopping over to my Rustore rotation video. We did go ahead and test it out. It's okay. For $1 in comparison to the $7 white-out chest plate, it's okay. If you really wanted to go for like a super budget option, it's okay. So, fine. Consider it. Give it a watch. Offer your own opinion if you so wish, but it is there. So that white-out, that white camouflage and white-out comparison about 33 minutes in. That's up to you if you want, but I did provide it. So, all right, cool. Understood. That is only 99 cents. It's not selling that much, and it is looking pretty interesting. And I probably should make a short video of it. So, okay, cool. Fair enough. So now that we got all of that out of the way, everything else I really don't feel super confident with. But then again, I've already suggested with all the cloven armor, low barbers are the way. You could still make something pretty interesting with the rest of these skins. Let's now talk about the Grim Farm Sheep Metadubador. So the Grim Farm collection, quite successful. But as you can see here, it's yeah, Garage Door, Sheep Metadubador. What's next? Armored Door, Armored Double Door, Wooden Door. So okay, I would be expecting more next year, maybe a rug or something. But that Sheep Metadubador, very gimmicky towards Halloween. Yes, of course. It's going to be out of season very, very quickly. Yes, of course, we've already talked about that. But I just want to remind you, last year we had 2 Halloween Sheep Metadubador skins. And it's pretty easy to spot because they're the only 2 skins that are down bad from last year's batch. At least the marketable ones. Do you notice how all of these are basically in the positive? Do you notice how these are not? It seems Halloween-themed Sheep Metadubadors aren't, like, appreciated. That did 16,500 subscribers. This did 16,200 subscribers. With the current pace that this is at... Oh, sorry, there. It doesn't look like it's going to be reaching the same amount. It looks like this will probably reach between 10 to 12,000 subscribers. Rough estimate, okay? By all means, offer your opinions. It looks cool. I thought it looked nice. I think it looks like a genuinely nice-looking skin. But I can still see potential problems. So, sorry to say, but yeah, I'm still expecting that. I'm probably just going to approach that with a cheaper builder, hold it out for like an entire year, come back to it, then yeah. Like, if we're going to study like the previous 2 skins, they did drop off. Grim Farm Garage Door, when you first came out, you really did go down low, didn't you? So if I could just quickly switch over to here, yeah, you went as low as about just over $1, and then last year you went as low as about just about $1. So yeah, they do drop off. But Garage Doors, there's far too many of them. Sheep Metadors, there's far too many of them. Sheep Metadubador, we do have quite a lot of them, but they still hold up quite nicely, except the Halloween ones. So keep an eye on the sales, we'll see how it progresses. And don't forget, if you like a skin and you want it, not everything has to be an investment. Treat yourself, buy a skin. Buy a skin, appreciate it, adore it, support those skin creators, keep them nice and motivated, keep them put out nice creative designs in the future. Cool. Now, with all the other skins here, so I should talk about Sinister Small Box. It's a pretty cool design. It's the first, like, transparent small box I've seen from the bottom. It's really cool. Like, with all due respect, someone's got to do, like, a cute sort of animal design in the future. Like, with this design, I could imagine someone doing, like, a small box dragon design for Lunar New Year. The little feetsies and whatnot. I mean, can you see it? Can you see it? Like with the horns? Anyway, that's cool. That's nice. Turned out very well. And of course, the skin creator that made it was also the person that made the work crate. You know, the fairly pricey small box that came earlier this year with transparent that's on the top that you can hide in rocks pretty easily. So that's looking pretty cool. Consider watching the rest rotation to get a good look at it. But I'm not sure if it's going to be A-okay just because it looks nice. You know, earlier this year, we've had quite a lot of interesting small box skins. Only one of them right now is in the positive. Now with these right here, you might sit there and say, Hedge, why are these all down in price? Well, a lot of people assumed it was the end of its collection. Let me tell you, a small props T-box has been submitted, and I would be surprised if it's accepted next week for November 4 swipe, okay? So if that appears, will all of these potentially spike a price ever so nice? And do we then expect at least 15 small box skins in total for the small props collection? That's a whole nother story to talk about. But yep, Sinister small box, you do look cool, but again, well, I even like... super Halloween theme. Not really, just a scary sort of little box. So, okay, fair enough. We'll see how it goes. It's abnormal. We'll keep an eye on the sales. Looking at all the remaining skins, well, you're going to probably talk about the beds. I'm sorry to say, but there's a whole lot more beds to be expected. Now, next month, or rather next week, during November, the handmade LMG will become skinnable. And I am expecting a lot of handmade LMG skins to potentially be accepted. You may recall with the beds, with the very first Rust store where we saw bed skins, we got 2 accepted. And the next Rust store, we got 2 accepted. And then after that, 1. Last week didn't get 1, but this week we've got 2. In just a single month, we've got 7 bed skins being accepted. Look how well they're doing. Oh no. So we've talked about the brand new Skinnables problem. We're going to see a lot of these being accepted pretty quickly. The first couple will sell like ridiculous amounts. I mean, the ones afterwards will as well. But the point I'm trying to get across is brand new Skinnables are a big problem. With these being Halloween themed, I do worry for them by default. But I don't think they're going to sell that much. But I can still see potential problems. Now, I think the horror bed's going to probably get a little bit more attention because, well, of course, it's a collection continuation to, well, the horror bag we saw being accepted 10 years ago. In the very first Halloween Rust store we ever saw, in Halloween 2015, yep, we saw this being accepted. And yes, this is one of the most expensive skins we have in the game, over $1,000 almost. Well, it was about the summertime. Anyway, that's cool. That's nice to see. But I don't think the bed will be reaching that price. No, no, no. If anything, it might be the reason why it's selling quite a lot compared to the other bed. But it's like very Halloween theme. But it's also very bright. I have questioned this. Do you care whether a bed is like bright, glowing in the dark and whatnot? Like, does it matter? You tell me. I'd like to see your opinions. Now, in contrast, the tombstone bed, pretty cool idea for a bed. Like, quite literally, it's a tombstone, but like mausoleum sort of stone, sort of coffin. You get the idea. That looks nice. And I wouldn't be surprised in the future if people are going to use that for like roleplay bases and whatnot. Future Halloween events, and you get the idea. So, keep an eye on that. That's definitely something considerably less compared to the other skin. That looks like it's going to struggle to reach 10,000, but I think it still will surpass 10,000 subscribers. Whereas this, the other bed, well, whilst I do expect you to sell less compared to all the other bed skins we've seen being accepted this month, I still expect problems because of the Halloween themes. You, however, whilst you're like a tombstone and they are like affiliated with Halloween, I think it's distinct enough where people won't like judge it too much because of that. So keep an eye on that. That's looking interesting. Both of them abnormal. So, okay, cool. We've talked about pretty much everything except the sheep matador in terms of deplorables. I don't expect much. I think that's just going to be a 60 cents to 80 cent barter. Dracula, that's too gimmicky, so sorry to say, but yeah, 60 cents to 80 cents there. The weapons, both of them, I think I'm going to do both 60 cents to 80 cents. Take a quick look at all the custom SMG skins that have been accepted over the past, what, like 4 years? One of them's in positive, it's a blackout. Yeah, people don't care about custom SMGs. So, unfortunately, it's going to drop off. Even though, over the past 5 years, Mr. Verona's been very successful. But look at it. Yeah, sorry. Frankenstein AK-47. It's a perfectly fine-looking green AK-47, but it's just a standard AK-47. It's just there. And unfortunately, if you just get an AK that's just like it's just there, unfortunately, it's going to drop off like all the other AK-47s that have come out this year. Only a select few are actually in the positive. We've also had lots of Twitch drops as well. Don't forget about that. So, yeah, unfortunately, I don't expect much of it. I think it's just going to drop off 60 cents to 80 cents. And now for last, I know I should have mentioned it earlier, but I'm also kind of unsure what's going to happen to it. The lowest selling skin of the week is the Creep Miner Hat. And at the current rate of sales, I'm pretty sure this is going to sell less compared to the Senior Tomato Miner Hat, the Surgeon Miner Hat. Like, this is no longer the focused item of the month. For November 2025, the L96 is the focused item of the month, even though we kind of get quite a lot of skins for that. But anyway, I'm not sure if we're going to still see like skins being accepted for this. There's still plenty that were submitted. Let me remind you, we saw some pretty cool skins. But anyway, now that this is not going to get that much attention anymore, I will expect like hardly any skins to be made for it anymore. Much like what I said with the wooden double door. But we still saw a skin being accepted for the wooden double doors. It's odd. So what I'm saying is, maybe we'll still see like a random miner hat being accepted, making it like a month's time. Wouldn't be surprised. That Creep Miner Hat, at the current rate of sales, I'm thinking it's going to fall short of like 8,000 subscribers. I think that's going to struggle to even reach 5. But have you seen it? I'm a creep. I'm a widow. I mean, it's cool for what it is. It's an incredibly weird, strange, grotesque looking design. but I think a lot of people grow to appreciate it. But it's like selling next to nothing. This is the odd one out to me. I don't know how to approach that. So by all means, are you a creep? Are you a fan? Feel free to comment below. Do you like it? And do you expect to see a collection continuation next year? I mentioned this in the rust rotation video. You could do like some weird, strange body designs that are like burlap clothing. You could do some weird fingers with leather gloves, weird feet with like hide boots. You could wear this with big toe boots and just be a real freak in Rust if you want to. So, I'm not sure how to approach that. It's a bit of an anomaly. I'm not sure if we're going to see anything weird like that ever again. But I should remind you, the mine hats we've seen, they've been pretty wacky. That still dropped off in price. But then again, look at it around January time and yeah, we should expect some nice positivity. So, okay, it's Halloween. We expect pretty much everything to drop off. You're probably sitting there and saying, Hedge, is everything, like, is it done for? I've noticed Ruskin prices dropping off. Well, let me give you a little bit of positivity. So let's just quickly hop out of here. I want to show you this video right here. Now that we're now delving into November, everyone's going to start, like, slowly grabbing initially, but then really grabbing tons of Christmas skins. People want to have lovely little Christmas bases and whatnot. For November, we are not going to see the naval update. It's been pushed back to December. But let me point this out. I'm now expecting a ton of people to turn up for the beginning of December because they want to see the brand new naval update with all the brand new content. There's a lot of curious people that are going to jump in. Come on now. I'm pretty sure you can agree with that. What also happens in December is in most parts of the world, a lot of people, well, they're not going to be working as much. Kids out of school, out of college, out of education. A lot of the world will be taking part in Christmas, aka just not doing anything for like 2 weeks. It's awesome. It's lovely. But that means that for the beginning of the month, a lot of people are going to turn up, and towards the end of the month, a lot of people will be playing Rust as well. And it's also perfectly fine because if it came out in November, a lot of people probably would have figured out like everything to do with boats. The meta have already been like figured out. It wouldn't have been as interesting anymore. But now it's coming out in December. You know what? I don't think people are going to figure out everything too quickly. So that means it's still going to be fresh, interesting, and be a great lead-in to January Force Wipe. So consider watching this video. For the first 10 minutes, I'd talk about that. I'd give you like all the pictures and whatnot. Pretty cool. But I also, give the suggestion to start looking at Christmas skins. If you invested into Christmas skins earlier this year, back in Easter time, March and April time, you're probably very happy right now because so many of the Christmas skins have already doubled in price. But as we get very, very close towards the end of this month, end of November, entering early December, some pretty tasty profits, oh yes. But you've got to make sure you sell them. But also, if we also see collection continuations, what if we see a collection continuation for that hoodie and pants? What if we see a sheet metal double door of the anime girl sheet metal door last year? 2 anime girls. So what I'm saying is, there's a lot of great things to, ahead of us. If I could just quickly hop out of here, showcase this to you, like, the player count has improved greatly from September to October. Look at that gain. You're telling me we're almost as good as June this year? I mean, I'm just saying, it's pretty good. So, if we stay optimistic, if we see something just as good as last year's December, again, as I said, a great lead in for like January time, January 2026, if we potentially get close to or surpass the all-time peak player count, I'm expecting a lot of people turning up, the demand for skins to go up, way up, and potentially a lot of skins peaking in price ever so nicely, aka the best time to sell your skins because they'll all go up in price very nicely. So things are still lining up very nicely. Stay optimistic. Do it. All right. Anyway, cool. So, as I mentioned, we have seen regular skins being submitted over the past weekend. Get a good look at that. Hey, look, another miner hat. But I'd just also like to point out, I mean, you can see one right there. Handmade LMG skins, they are currently appearing, okay? And over the course of this next weekend, we will see more, okay? Handmade LMGs are being produced. There's about 10 of them there. Lots of them were transparent aim sights. Lots of them like alternate versions. Now, if you get a quick look at all of these, well, most of them, consider hopping over to my YouTube. Look at my shorts right here. You'll see all of the showcases for 6 of them. Nice 3D view, like third-person view is what I meant to say, sorry. And then actual like handling in my hands. Now, not all of them were submitted when I looked at all of these skins, but because I'm expecting more of them to appear over the course of this next weekend, I'll make like a third part. So I'll keep showcasing all the brand new handmade LMG skins that are being put on the workshop. You can stay informed, so cool. Now, as I mentioned in regards to the bed skins, we're still seeing a lot of bed skins. If you want to stay informed with all the newer skins that have been like produced, like as I just mentioned, lots of bed skins are being made, I'm just saying. Yeah, keep an eye out for my Rust Workshop skin checks as I quickly hop over to here. Hedge, you keep referencing other things you've done and whatnot. Well, it spares me from having to say it all over again. So yeah, there's a lot of skins. There's a lot of collection continuations. I would recommend you just skip ahead. I don't think you're going to sit here for another hour and a half. But there's lots of very interesting things being produced. So, point made? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So, cool. So everything's all been said, addressed. And again, if you're going to keep an eye out for like how the abnormal barders took place last night when we approached the Ghost Furnace, you're more than welcome to watch that. I'd recommend watch the first 5 minutes, skip ahead to the barders. Cool. And I think that is pretty much everything. So now I'm just going to quickly mention what we've seen on the commits. So, yeah, lots of naval update stuff being worked on. But over to here, an RPG store page. So, you know how you go hopping over to here, where are we? Ta-da. You know how on the store we see a general section? And that's where we see all like the building skins. But you also happen to see like the factory door. And if you go over to here, you see like the sofa. The occasional random things being produced. I can't help but assume the RPG is going to probably end up in the general section. And if they're going to do things like that again, what type of random thing would you like to see become a general sort of item? Feel free to comment below. But judging by what's being like mentioned here and whatnot, I'm not sure if this is going to be a temporary thing, you know, like with the wallpapers we currently have, you know, in the Rust store, the Halloween wallpapers, or if it's going to be a general thing. I lean more towards general, but we'll see how it turns out. It looks like that's going to be a November 4 swipe thing. So, all right, cool. Leave it at that. Over to here, as I just mentioned, Halloween wallpapers. We're also expecting Christmas wallpapers. Keep that in your head. Ceiling, floor, and walls, all of it. Are we going to have glow-in-the-dark Christmas wallpapers? Are we going to have animated ones? Because we did see that with the Halloween ones. So, okay, cool. Lovely stuff. And then over to here, something's being mentioned here. Boxes DLC. Is this potentially something that's going to help categorize and organize everything with your own boxes? AKA, would you be able to like label your own boxes? We don't know anything yet. But something's going on here. Something's going on here, okay? Now, I know they're having like some sort of special hack week thing they've done before to organize everything in your boxes very nicely. I'm just saying, like, could you put like a massive label saying, this is where all the wood goes, and this is where all the sulfur goes, and this is where all our weapons go? Do you know what I'm saying? What's going on here? Keep an eye on the commits, okay? That's all I can say. So, all right, cool. We're seeing improvements. We're hoping to see prices improve now. But, yeah, just endure the pain of watching prices drop off. But to be honest with you, I don't think prices are going that much lower anymore. So if I could just quickly switch over to here, as you can see, Heatseeker MP5 currently sitting here around $2.20, around. There's still lots of listings, but does it still look like it's, you know, dramatically going down? It looks like it's trying to stop. It went up. At some point, it will stop going down properly, and then it will start to rise. As we get closer and closer to January 2026, maybe it will happen as we roll into November 4 swipe. Fingers crossed. But at some point, it does have to stop going down. So, cool. That's everything that needs to be said. Let's just quickly refresh to be fully up to date. And, oh, there you go, 9,000 subscribers. So, of course, keep an eye on my Twitter. I will point out what the first 24 hours of sales with all of this is. But it's definitely looking to be a whole lot less compared to the previous week. And we welcome that. So, cool. There's still a few things that are looking pretty interesting. That could still be nice investments. I'm sorry this still went on for a bit. But there's still quite a lot to say. I hope you're feeling a whole lot more optimistic. I hope you're feeling a little bit more level-headed. Enjoy Halloween for whatever you do. I should point out, later tonight, yes, if you're watching this today, later tonight around what, like 9 p.m. my time, on the Art of Rust server, I've worked with Mr. Cheese Taco. We've built like he built a Geister barn. I got like a fight pit all set up. And if you want to combat each other with swords and shields and on a very, very high platform where if you miss or you fall off, you're going to die, splat. If you're going to potentially fight and win a Warhammer DLC, feel free to join us. I will put the tweet out a little bit later. We'll wait for people to turn up and, yeah, we'll just have some fun. We're going to enjoy ourselves whilst Halloween takes place. So thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Best of luck to all of you with your investments. Stay positive. Stay optimistic. Soon, we're going to start seeing Christmas skins, being submitted and whatnot. So, okay. I mean, it's not going to be huge investments there, but hey, I mean, it's nice to be nice, relaxed, calm. But January time, soon, we'll be able to sell all of our skins and make the sweet, delicious profit. So, catch you later. See you, goodbye.